Good morning to those who will listen. It's January 13th, 2018, 2 a.m. I'm still up. I'm exhausted, but I just wanted to share what happened to me today. And, even though things went wrong, I still trust Jesus. I still have 100% faith that He will somehow, some way, rectify my problems and my situation. All right, earlier today, if you saw my last video, I thought everything was going good. I had the landlord here. He uh, checked the furnace and everything, and the furnace had a small leak, but nothing bad. And then he still had the maintenance guy come up and fix it. Checked it. Everything's great. He says, air out your apartment. Maybe your problem is stagnant air, which I don't know. So I tried it. I opened up the door, opened up the windows, had a fan circulating around for about 15, 20 minutes. Then I closed it up and I took my mask off. I ate dinner, and then I started texting some of my friends and telling people, and my boss too, that I'm feeling better, I'm doing good. And I just checked my blood pressure, 115 over 89, pretty darn good. So I thought everything was going great, and it was. I mean, I checked it a couple times. It was 127 over, 84, whatever, something, in there, but nothing bad. Nothing even close to being bad. And then, um, right after I get done texting everybody, I sat down and I started watching some videos, from YouTube. And all of a sudden, I just started sneezing. All of a sudden, like 10 sneezes all in a row. And my nose just totally closed up. And it felt like I suddenly had the flu. And within seconds later, I could feel my heart just going again. Checked my blood pressure. It was actually good the first time I checked it, but the pulse was way up to like 120. And I'm like, I'm just sitting here not doing nothing. I'm happy. I had all these doctors and nurses and ER doctors saying, oh, it's your stress, your anxiety. But, I have faith in Jesus. 100% faith in Jesus. My stress, my anxiety hasn't been better in at least 17 years. And, I don't have any stress and anxiety. I mean, I do a little. Everybody does have a little. But, I don't, it's been better than it ever has. And I've been checking my blood pressure and it's always been good, except when I'm exposed. Now, I kept my mask on all day up until when the maintenance guy fixed everything. Then I took it off. It was about an hour, maybe an hour and a half that went by. And that's when everything started. Uh, Sneezing started first. Blood pressure went high. I broke out in a rash. I didn't know that till afterward, until after I got to the hospital. But I broke out into a rash, and when I got to the hospital, I threw up 3 times, but it was like just in my throat. But it happened 3 times, and then it happened twice more when I got home. But it's just like some acid reflux, so I'm hoping that's nothing related to anything else. Um, but I had the worst things happening to me today. I can't believe this hospital that I went to. Uh, I'm not going to name what the hospital is, but I'm never going there again after what happened to me. So when I went into when I called 911, the ambulance came. My blood pressure was 171 over 119, and my pulse, I'm trying to think what it was, 100 and, I was right around 130, I think. And, they're, what's going on? Same thing, told them what's going on. And I said, when I'm wearing my mask, I'm great, I'm fine. And then, I have a little bit of exposure just to the regular air in my apartment. And I got a fan running, I got a air purifier going. Still didn't help. So, they're trying to say it's my stress and everything, but I was calm as could be. I was just sitting here watching TV. I wasn't, excited. I was happy. Everything was great. So I know for a fact it wasn't stress or anxiety. I know for a fact it's some kind of either a chemical exposure or an allergic reaction. So I get to the hospital, and they put me back in a room, and I'm waiting forever. They said, "Oh, we're really busy tonight." Okay, fine. So I'm waiting, 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 and like over an hour goes by, and then a guy comes in and he says, you can't see the doctor until after we do a psych evaluation." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So they think that I'm stressed out and anxiety and whatever. So I had to go through all these questions. Do you want to kill yourself? Do you want to hurt others? All this stupid stuff, which it's come on. And I mentioned Jesus, but that don't matter. I'm still, I'm either crazy or I'm stressed out or anxiety. And I said I put my faith, 100% trust and faith in Jesus. I don't have stress. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to kill anybody else. But they had to ask me all these questions. So then, finally, he's done evaluating me, I guess, and then he goes back to the doctor. And I wait another hour and a half. I was in the hospital for like 5 hours altogether. And during this whole time too, I couldn't believe it. The nurse came back and just put me in the room and shut the door. Didn't hook me up to the blood pressure machine. Didn't put the little thing for check your pulse. And I'm in there and I notice my rash and I'm like, "Hey, can you tell somebody that I broke out into a rash?" "Okay, I'll tell them." And I still waited over an hour. No, all the other times they were right on me. Oh, but this time it's like, oh, they don't care. I just couldn't believe all this. So finally the doctor comes in and he's talking to me and he listens to my heart. Everything's good. And then he says, "You know what your problem is? You're checking your blood pressure too much." He says, "Nothing good can come from checking your blood pressure except it'll just go up." And I said, "Nope." I said, "For 2 days straight, my blood pressure was perfect when I was wearing this mask." And he goes, "I don't believe you." I'm like, "What?" I wrote it all down, but I didn't take that with me. But I don't know what they expect. So then, sorry, I'm going to grab what they said in this report, because you won't believe it. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And now they want me to get back on blood pressure medicine, even though my blood pressure is perfectly fine. It's only bad when, I'm exposed to something. So I'm going to show you something too. Watch this. I'm starting to really flush again too. And I don't want to take my mask off to show you the rest. Let's see, I'm red. But, and that's how my cheeks look too. And all through my face just turns all red now. I used to do that before when I had the thing. And I'm going to do a testimony because in case something happens to me, I want to at least give my testimony to Jesus. And I've been meaning to do it for a long time, and I just haven't done it. Oh, and I'm supposed to get an advocate to help me. And I have to go see a psychiatrist now. And they want me on Xanax. And then a blood pressure medicine. And I'm like, I don't need that. I'm fine. It's just I'm exposed to some kind of chemicals. And the more I think about it, if my apartment really is good, nothing's happening inside my apartment, then it has to be the fracking. And, they don't want to admit that. Fracking is the big business here. If one person gets sick or dies, they don't care. And I found out from the nurse, one of the nurses, thank God she was honest with me. She said that there's been a few other people that have been getting sick from the fracking. And where she lives up on top of the hill where I'm at, close by, just a couple miles away. And she said that the police went through all the apartments asking people if they smelled anything. So something's going on here. And I think it's the fracking, but, what they're not going to stop. I still got to look these words up, too, to see what it is. Here's what they said my diagnosis is. Multiple somatic complaints. I got to look that up because I don't even know what that is. Elevated blood pressure reading, history of hypertension, petechial rash, And then it says, you have different somatic complaints that are not consistent with an allergic reaction. I'm looking this word up real quick. Oh, sorry. Let me pause so I can look this word up so I know what it is. All right. Wow. I looked this up. So it says, also it says, your blood pressure is high, resume Cinepril. And then it says, recommend that you follow up with MindSpring's Mental Health for further evaluation for a possible somatoform disorder or conversion reaction. So here I looked it up. The somatic disorder, somatoform disorders are a group of psychological disorders in which the patient experiences physical symptoms that are inconsistent with or cannot be fully explained by any underlying general medical or neurological condition. Huh. Really? Mental disorder. Really? Oh, and then they also said too, they asked me if I ever got knocked unconscious. And I said back when I was 16, well, I don't care anymore. I'll just tell you my age. But that was 34 years ago, and they're saying that maybe I have some brain damage from that. Somatic system disorder is a form of mental illness that causes one or more bodily symptoms, including pain. I didn't have any pain at all. The symptoms may or may not be traceable to a physical cause, including general medical conditions, other mental illnesses, or substance abuse. But regardless, they can cause excessive and disproportionate levels of distress. You know, the only time I was ever in distress was when all this stuff happens, and and my blood pressure is out of control. Symptoms can involve one or more different organs and body systems, such as pain, neurological problems, gastrointestinal complaints, sexual symptoms. All right, get off there. Blah blah blah. People with SSD are not faking their symptoms. The distress they experience from pain and other problems they experience are real, regardless of whether or not a physical explanation can be found. Why don't they just admit that I had an allergic reaction or a chemical reaction? Wow. All right. And then they says, oh, maybe you have conversion reaction. Let's see what that is now. Conversion disorder is a mental condition in which a person has blindness, paralysis, or other nervous system symptoms that cannot be explained by medical evaluation. Holy crap. Blindness, paralysis, or nervous system. I didn't have none of that. What is wrong with these doctors? Wow. Blindness, paralysis, inability to speak, deafness, numbness. Are you kidding me? Seizures? Alright, I don't know. I'm done with that. Okay, so there we go with that. I'm sorry, again, a long video, but please bear with me. I just want to explain everything that happened to me. I'm just really upset with things. But, I'm supposed to go to this MindSpring's mental place. And then they're supposed to evaluate me again see if I have any brain damage. Really? From 34 years ago. I don't know, people. It's like, I rededicated my life to Jesus. I've been a Christian since I was 11 years old, and sure, I was really faithful for a while, and then of course kind of backslide. I've never stopped praying. I never stopped thanking Jesus and praying all the time. And I didn't read the Bible that much, but I still did. I went to church here and there, but I wasn't fully committed like I am now. And I don't know, this might be a tax from Satan. I don't know. Or who knows what, I'm not going to say a lot of stuff. Maybe something's going on with YouTube. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but to me, it's just like it has to be something in my apartment that I'm smelling, or the fracking, and I'm breathing in something, My landlord, he actually believes that it's the fracking because he says he knows people that have gotten sick from it. He also said that he can smell it himself. He says it smells like sulfur and rotten eggs. And he said, you remember that day when you saw that big cloud just hovering? I think I took a video of it too. Remember? I'll have to look back, but I think I took a video of it. He says, you know what that is? That's a gas cloud. He said, there's a temperature inversion, and it just lingered over the valley, for a long time. And I'm pretty sure I did a video of it. I was like, look at this. And I just thought it was fog. When was that? That was a day or two ago. I said, look, that looks like a fog. But, that was a gas cloud from the stupid fracking. But that's what happened to me. And I'm monitoring my blood pressure now. It's a little high, but, not terrible. As long as I have this mask on, maybe I'll be all right. Really am afraid to go to sleep. If my blood pressure and heart rate goes up again, in the near future, because it's already getting late, then I'm just going to go to a motel. It's not worth staying here. And another strange thing just happened to me too, and I thought it was really strange. I had my heat set at 72 degrees, and it just kept going. I'm like, it's getting really hot in here. What's going on? 74, then it got to 75. I'm like, it won't shut off. It's supposed to automatically shut off when it hits 72. Sometimes it goes a little above, it goes to 73. Okay, fine, but it just kept going and going. So I'm like, I turned it off. It wouldn't turn off. It just kept going. I'm like, what in the world? So then I took the batteries out. So it reset the whole thing again. And then it reset it back and said it was 35 degrees in here. And it was set for 24 degrees. I don't know what happened. But then it kicked on again. I'm like, what in the world? If it's 35 degrees, why is it kicking on? But I know it was a malfunction in that. So then I took the batteries out, and then it just kept going. It kept going. And I'm like, what in the world? Finally, it stopped, like another couple, 2-3 minutes later. But it just kept going and going. I'm like, and if there's something, whatever, going, gas fumes or whatever. The only thing is I was told that if it was gas fumes, it shouldn't affect me like that. And it probably wouldn't. It'd probably make me a little sick, but I don't think my blood pressure would go skyrocket, especially so suddenly. I don't know. But again, all I can say is pray for me some more. I'm sorry to keep asking for prayers, but I believe we should all pray for each other. And I really appreciate everybody, and I love you guys so much. And I just can't stop thinking of what the paramedic said while I was on the way to the ambulance. He goes, "Why did you move here to Colorado?" And I told him that God brought me here. I said the reason I came here was for health problems. Jokingly, now I'm having all these health problems again. But I was under so much stress, and when I was in Iowa, and I believe God moved me here to get me better. But then I really think God brought me here so I could show everybody these videos and share with everybody, what's going on with the sun and these objects and everything, Planet X system. So that's why, I really believe the purpose of my life here is to show this to you guys out there so we can prepare for what's coming and be ready for Jesus. But I just have to have faith and trust that somehow, some way, Jesus is going to heal me, or maybe they'll stop fracking or something. I don't know, but I want to die for Jesus. I don't want to die from a allergic reaction or something. I want to do God's will, God's purpose in my life, and I really believe that this is it. Because I got the perfect view and from my balcony to show you this stuff. But if this fracking is going to do this to me, then I don't know how I'm going to continue with this. So pray for me and watch for my next video. It's going to be my testimony. I want to get that out in case something happens to me because I'm really sick. And I will explain more of what happened. The last time when I was really sick, I was sick for 9 months, and I really I was really close to death. I had a lot of anaphylactic shock where my body would just, I would be in convulsions. And I just thought it was, I didn't know what, and the doctors couldn't figure out what it was. And I kept bringing up fracking, maybe, test me for chemicals. And they always refused. Oh, it's not the fracking, it's not the fracking. And I was talking to this woman, was in the hospital once, in the clinic, and she was complaining that she had all these symptoms just like me. And I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like what I'm going through. And I said, well, maybe it's the fracking. And her husband got mad and was like, no, it's not the fracking. I know all about the fracking. I used to work for them, and they don't use any chemicals that are bad that would get into the air, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like, wow, really? And all the doctors are there, just always defending the fracking. There's nothing wrong with the fracking. Nobody's getting sick from the fracking. It's something else. Ugh. All right, I'm sorry. I'm just going off too long. I'm sorry. I love you guys. Pray for me. And I'm trying my best to get better. But I don't know what to do besides what I'm doing with this mask. But, I can't live with this mask the rest of my life. 24 hours a day. I mean, I could take it off finally when I get out of this town. But I shouldn't have to live like this. And I just prayed God will help me. Help me, please, Jesus, please help me. All right, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks you for subscribing. Watch for my next video. It's gonna be my testimony of my life and my life with Jesus. My life trying to do God's will. So thanks again. God bless you.